When we talk about relationships, and especially when we discuss the notion of someone returning after a period of no contact, we must first acknowledge that human behavior is governed by deeply ingrained patterns, habits, and unconscious emotional programming. These patterns are rooted in the body, in the brain, and in the heart. In a sense, we are all products of our past experiences, emotional wounds, and learned behaviors. This might sound simple, but understanding why men return after a period of absence requires us to dive deeper into the science of the brain, the subconscious mind, and the energy we create and send out into the world. Every thought we think, every feeling we feel, every decision we make, these are not just random occurrences. They are the result of millions of neural pathways that have been forged over the course of our lives. These pathways or programs are what shape our actions and reactions. We respond to the world around us based on how our brain is wired, based on how we've been conditioned by our past experiences. And yes, this includes relationships. Now let's break it down further. We all know that a relationship is more than just physical presence, it's an energetic exchange. It's an exchange of thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions. Whether we are aware of it or not, we are constantly transmitting energy. When you enter into a relationship, you form a certain energetic bond with that person, one that resonates on a frequency. This frequency, shaped by your emotional responses, thoughts, and behaviors, creates a sort of field between you and that person. This field is powerful. It affects how we connect and how we pull each other in or push each other away. It's this dynamic of energy, this field, that can explain why, after a period of no contact, someone might return. The reason someone may come back after a period of separation or no contact isn't just about missing the person physically. It's about the energy that remains in the space between them. There's a magnetic quality to that energy. Think of it this way: even though we may have stopped communicating on a conscious level, our energy field hasn't just disappeared. It lingers, and like a magnet, it can attract the other person back. But what happens here is far deeper than just the pull of attraction. At the core of every human being lies a complex system of emotions and beliefs that have been shaped by previous experiences, especially in intimate relationships. When someone pulls away or distances themselves, it often triggers an emotional response. And that emotional response is encoded in the subconscious mind. For men, just as for women, the subconscious mind is a powerful force. It governs how we feel about love, intimacy, connection, and vulnerability. If there was emotional significance tied to the relationship, especially if it was unresolved, the subconscious mind will keep pulling on that thread. You see, when there's a deep emotional connection or an unresolved emotional wound, the subconscious mind will continue to process that energy long after the conscious mind has moved on. This means that the person who left or the person who pulled away may still be carrying emotional energy related to you and the relationship. The body becomes conditioned to the emotions associated with that person. And when the body is conditioned to feel certain emotions, whether it's longing, desire, or even regret, those emotions create a chemical reaction. The chemicals released by our emotions affect our physical state, and these chemicals get encoded in the body. So when you stop communicating, your energy still resonates with theirs, and the chemical reactions created by this energy continue to pull them back into your orbit. This is where things get really interesting. On a neurobiological level, when we experience emotional highs and lows in a relationship, whether it's intense passion, conflict, or even heartbreak, the brain starts to form new neural connections. These connections are tied to our emotional responses. If you have shared deeply emotional moments with someone, your brain will start to associate that person with certain feelings, sensations, and memories. These neural patterns get solidified and reinforce that person's place in your life, whether consciously or subconsciously. Now let's talk about the idea of no contact. No contact is an incredibly powerful tool for creating space and distance. But why does no contact work in the way that it does? Why is it that after time and space have been created, people sometimes find themselves reconnecting or coming back to the same person? The simple answer is that when you stop communicating, you stop reinforcing the same neural patterns. You interrupt the cycle of emotional dependence. The subconscious mind doesn't have the usual stimulus that it relies on to continue the same behavior or thought patterns. This gives the other person, especially the one who left, time to process and recalibrate their emotional state. Moreover, during the period of no contact, you are likely doing something transformative as well. While the space between you and the other person grows, you have the opportunity to heal and rewire your own brain. You are creating new neural pathways that do not rely on the past emotional drama. You are changing the energy you are sending out. You are no longer the same person emotionally or energetically that you were before. This is a critical shift in behavior. Let me explain this in terms of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. When you stop engaging with someone, especially when it comes to emotionally charged relationships, you give yourself the chance to break old patterns and create new ones. You might start feeling more empowered, more grounded, and more at peace with yourself. The transformation that happens during this time often changes the way you interact with the world and, by extension, with the person who left. You start emitting a different frequency, one that is more aligned with who you truly are and less with the emotional dependency you may have had before. Now, if this transformation occurs within you, it is very possible that the other person will pick up on that energetic shift. This is where the idea of men or anyone coming back after no contact becomes clearer. The shift that happens within you may cause them to feel that something has changed. They may not be able to consciously identify what it is, but on a deeper, energetic level, they sense that you are different, more complete, more whole, more self-assured. This creates a pull, a magnetic attraction, even if they do not fully understand why they feel drawn back toward you. On a deeper level, there's also the issue of unresolved emotional tension. If there were aspects of the relationship that were never fully addressed, if there was unfinished emotional business, the subconscious mind will continue to process this energy. In other words, no contact provides space for this energy to bubble up to the surface for both you and the other person. In many cases, when a person returns, it's because they too have been subconsciously processing the emotions tied to the relationship. They may have tried to suppress or distract themselves from the feelings they experienced with you, but eventually the subconscious mind has a way of forcing unresolved emotions to the forefront. If you've undergone a process of healing during the no-contact period, you may have created a situation where the energy between you and the other person is now ripe for transformation, for resolution, and for closure. Finally, there's the concept of coherence. When we speak about coherence, we're talking about the alignment of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. In relationships, when these elements are out of sync, when there's disharmony, it creates disconnection and distance. However, when you undergo personal transformation, when you heal your emotional wounds, and when you raise your frequency, you move into a state of coherence. In this state, your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, and this alignment is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to it. The energy you send out becomes one of peace, clarity, and confidence, and it's in the state that a person may return to you drawn by the energetic shift, the coherence, and the completeness you found within yourself. To conclude, understanding why men return after no contact isn't simply about playing mind games or manipulating their emotions. It's about understanding the deeper dynamics of energy, the subconscious mind, and the transformational power of emotional healing. When you stop engaging in unhealthy patterns, when you give yourself the time and space to heal and rewire your brain, you create an entirely new energy field. This field draws others in not because they have no choice, but because they are responding to the new frequency you are emitting. The return is not a guarantee, but it is a possibility, and it is the result of profound personal transformation, emotional evolution, and the powerful law of attraction. And this is where the true magic of the no-contact period lies. It's not in waiting for someone else to come back, but in the radical shift that happens within you as you reclaim your power, your energy, and your sense of self. Thank you. The phenomena of why men return after a period of no contact is deeply rooted in the interplay of energy, subconscious patterns, emotional conditioning, and personal transformation. When we understand human behavior through the lens of neuroscience, energy dynamics, and emotional healing, it becomes clear that relationships are not just about physical presence, but about the energy we share and the subconscious emotional programming we carry. No contact creates space, and this space allows for the transformation of both individuals involved. During this time, the emotional energy that once kept you tethered to each other begins to recalibrate. By breaking old patterns and fostering new neural connections, both you and the other person are given the opportunity to heal, grow, and evolve. The shift that occurs within you, whether it's increased self-awareness, emotional regulation, or a deep sense of inner peace, naturally alters the energy you emit. This change is often felt by the other person, who may return, not because of a conscious decision, but because of the energetic pull they sense in you. However, the most profound aspect of this transformation is not in the person coming back, but in the internal change that happens within you. When you raise your frequency, heal your emotional wounds, and shift your energy into a more aligned, coherent state, you stop attracting the same unhealthy patterns. You create a space where only those who resonate with your newfound energy can enter, whether that means reconnection or moving on to something greater. Ultimately, the return of someone after no contact serves as a reflection of your personal growth and transformation. It is a reminder that true power lies not in the actions of others, but in your ability to change, heal, and emit a frequency that attracts what aligns with your highest self. And whether or not that person returns, you are left standing stronger, more whole, and more empowered than ever before.